when we had her in 2023 in October, when we interrogated her, and later we released her. So this is her most recent photo.
Jibukeredde olunaku olwaleero eggwanga lifunya amawulire g'omukyala n'omwami abadde ku boda nga bayina bomu era nga eyabikiddeawo kumpi ne ekereziya eye Munyonyo Matters Shrine. Kakati ebiriwo biraga nti bano babadde batagetinga Namugongo engeri gyabaddeyo abantu abangi ate nga ffenna tumanyi nti omukolo gw'okujjukira abajulizi abantu batera amaaso gateeka ku Namugongo. Kati ab'ebyokwerinda kigambibwa nti babadde bategeddeko ku lukwe luno ne bawondera abantu bano mu kubagoba ate badde boolekera era still wali bantu ku lunaku nga luno olw'okujjukira abajulizi Munyonyo gye basobodde okubalemesa okutuuka ne babasalako nga tebannasala ka bridge akakawula abava esalama nga mugenda ku Munyonyo Matters Shrine mumanyiwaawo. Kakati mucho ku bye twakafuna nga omwogezi w'amagye nga bwe tumulina wagenda okubanga abannyonnyola. Kakati tulina omwogezi w'amagye era agamba ku bimu bye mugenda okubanga mulaba nti omukyala ku bye baakamufunako abadde ku boda nga balina bomu ye mukyala w'omu ku bali abaakuba bomu mu kibuga mujjukira ku CPS ne ku banka eri awo kumpi ne Parliament. Abo abaali mu bomu gitwalimu ebbanga eriyise. Kati ate ono omukyala alina akakwate ku bali ate yo boda kwe babadde amannya already kati bamaze okubanga bagafuna. Ndowooza bagenda kuba bazimbirawo mu kunoonyereza ekiri kweyo ensonga. Kati nga tunafuna mwogezi w'amagye ku nsonga eyo njagala okubategeeza nti n'abatategedde emboozi ab'amagye abalumbye poliisi e Wakiso ne bakuba buli omu eyabaddewo nabyo abyogeddeko ng'era tutegeeza nti bo ng'ab'amagye bagenda kukola ku mbeera eyo bali mu kukwasaganya nsonga eyo okola nti buli omu kwegamba bagenda kikola nga disciplinary committee y'amagye babeerenga buli omu bagenda kikwasa akakiiko k'empisa mu magye babeerenga buli gwe kikwatako eyenyigidde mu kikulu ekyo bagenda kubanga bamuvunaana mu ngeri emu oba endala. Kati ebyo byonna bibadde bikyali awo ku nsonga eyo naye nga mawulire si malungi ku lunaku nga luno ng'Abannayuganda ejjo kigambibwa nti balabye ku Biikira Maria mu kire ate nga n'olwaleero mu kusaba Namugongo malayika era ababaddeyo batugamba nti bamulabyeko mu kire era zezimu ku climax z'omukolo guno ogwaleero nga bajjukira abajulizi. Kale no byonna bitambulidde awo nze lujja ku Cavuton Music kansaba ate mubeere nga mufuna eddoboozi okuva eri omukulu mu magye ate ebisingawo tujja kubanga tubizimbira okwo.
Ebyokunoonyereza ku bantu bano bigenda mu maaso naye nga obukakafu bwe tulina omu ku batuju omukyala alina amanya ga njawulo Aisha Katushabe oluusi yeeyita Byaruhanga Sumaaya oluusi yeeyita Kabonesa. Twali tumukutteko mu mwezi gwa October 2023 nga tumuteebereza kubeera mu by'obutuju naye nitumumala nitumuta n'agenda. Naye leero kitulaze nti omuntu twalina mutuufu mutujju. Tugenza okuzuula baawe ayitwa Muzaffar yali omu ku abo be twakwata era n'amala n'attibwa ab'ebyokwerinda mu 2021 abagezaako okulumba abaali bakungubagira omugenzi waffe yali Deputy Inspector General of Police Lieutenant General Paulo Kechi. Era ne tuddamu ne tukizuula nti baawe ayitwa Abdul Shakur y'omu ku batujju abeetulisa ku Central Police Station e Kampala. we commend the security services for again pulling off this momentous event. We know that it involves multitudes of worshippers and faithfuls in their millions, and we have yet again delivered safety to all who turned up for prayers today. However, it could have been a disaster if it was not for the vigilance of the security services. This morning at around 8:30, our counterterrorism units intercepted a suicide bomber who was riding on a motorcycle. We intercepted her 600 meters from the Munyonyo Basilica, and that was the ultimate target. If she had managed to infiltrate through, I think we would be talking about a different story now. But we engaged them, and ultimately her explosive she was wearing or carrying in the backpack went off, and the rider also died. The suicide bomber is, and by the way, all these preliminary findings and strongly so point to ADF operatives. This lady, the suicide bomber, has been in our custody before in 2023. I think it was October, and we interrogated her because she had links to ADF. She was known as Aisha Katushabe, also known as Biarohanga Sumaya, also known as Kabonesa, in her 20s. Intelligence findings show that her husband called Muzaffar was killed by our counterterrorism forces in 2021. He was among the group who wanted to bomb the funeral and mourners of the late Deputy Inspector General of Police, Paulo Kechi. That time we arrested some suspects and some were killed. We also know that she was a daughter to Abdu Shakur. Abdu Shakur is the suicide bomber who blew himself at the Central Police Station in Kampala in 2021. The other incident was, I think, along Parliamentary Avenue. So these are strong links to ADF, which we knew about. And in relation to today's event, intelligence was aware that the ADF was planning to attack worshippers and pilgrims on this day. In fact, 2 days ago, we arrested a suspect who is in custody right now, and he gave us very useful information. We found him with the laptops and several rounds of ammunition, and the interrogations are still taking place. So we had strong links, and our people on the ground today, we are very vigilant and aware, and we congratulate all the security forces today who are in the field, the UPDF, the Uganda Police Force, and the intelligence services, for preventing a catastrophe. We could have been talking about many people dead and injured today, and the entire city would have been in a panic and confusion. So briefly, that's about the event today, but I think the important message is that we have, again, the security forces delivered a successful Martyrs' Day celebrations, and thanks to them, nobody has died, nobody is injured, although there were attempts to do so by some clearly very negative forces in our side. Any questions?
Yes. About the rider?
Oh, yes. The investigations are still going on, but from what we have gathered, the motorcycle is registered in the names of Musa and Yusuf. We are yet to establish whether the rider was Musa and Yusuf or somebody else, and what links they have or they could have with the terrorist who was riding on the motorcycle. So we will dig deeper into this and we'll definitely find out.
Are there more sleeper cells of ADF? And what are you telling the public? If this person was so close to the target?
We have been saying this already in the past. We live in a very volatile Great Lakes region. We know that Eastern Congo is a hotbed of many violent armed groups, including the Allied Democratic Forces, which has conducted attacks against Ugandans for many years now, most recently in 2021. And we have always been appealing to the general public to be vigilant, report any suspicious individuals or objects or activities to the security forces so that intervention measures are undertaken in time. And we thank Ugandans that for the most part, Ugandans have been very cooperative with security, and working together with the security services, we have been able to prevent disaster. Otherwise, we could easily have another July 2010 bombings here. But the members of the security forces working with the people who are very vigilant indeed have prevented many of these from happening. We also have the Al-Shabaab situation. It seems far away in Somalia, but actually it is not, because Al-Shabaab comes as close as the northeastern frontier of the Kenya-Somalia border. There is a very big population of Somalis in Kenya and increasingly even in Uganda, so they can always infiltrate. Our borders are porous, so the key is to ensure that we are constantly vigilant. Everyone, the wananchi and the security services. And that's how we'll be able to prevent disaster from striking our people, like it is happening in some places.
You said you once arrested the suicide bomber, so you released her under which grounds?
We didn't have sufficient evidence. And by the way, this should also tell you that the security services in Uganda and the justice system generally tries to be fair and considerate, although many people tend to think otherwise. If we don't have concrete evidence about you, we might be suspicious, but if we don't have evidence, then we will be compelled to release you. Because to take someone to court means you must have gathered your evidence, and that person will be prosecuted successfully. So there are definitely some gaps in what we had, and we let her go. But today, we have been vindicated that actually she was indeed a terrorist, even when we arrested her back then. But if you are a criminal, you can last so much. Eventually, the law catches up with you, and your bad deeds catch up with you, and she has perished today. Thankfully, without injuring any other bystanders or worshippers or pilgrims.
My interest is, thank you, sir. My interest is knowing the real profile of this lady beyond the names and what. So where has she been living? Who are they? Her other networks so far? What are you going to really bring others that you have been cooperating with in this scheme?
We have a big picture of ADF terrorist networks in this country, but I think it would be inadvisable for me to go into too much details, because otherwise the sleeper cells will become aware and they can sleep away or change tactics or change strategy or change location and so on. But we know, I've already told you that her two closest associates, there's a problem. I'm in darkness.
Once we have sound.
No, for you, for others.
So we already know that her two closest associates, her father blew himself up at CPS in, I think it was August 2021 or thereabout, and her husband was also killed by our own forces in 20.
The husband is who?
Her husband was a terrorist called Muzaffar. Muzaffaru, just a moment. Muzaffaru, I have one name, Muzaffaru. Her husband was Abdul Shakur, the suicide bomber who detonated himself at CPS.
That is the father.
Yes, the father is Abdul Shakur. She was a daughter to Abdul Shakur, a suicide bomber who detonated himself at CPS. That was 2021. Her husband, one Muzaffar, was also killed by our security forces in 2021. He was part of the group who tried to attack Munas who had converged at the send-off of the late Deputy Inspector General of Police, Lieutenant General Paulo Kechi. So you can see she has very strong links to ADF networks. We know there is a lot more operatives out there. That's why we are calling for enhanced vigilance by members of the public. If they see anything, if they hear anything, if they see objects they don't understand, they should report them to the security services. And by the way, they have been doing that. I think you've covered many reports before of bombs we have recovered in different places in Kampala here after tip-off from members of the public. So we are very grateful, and we look forward to this enhanced and close working relationship with the members of the public.
Maybe I would like to ask, because you've talked about the people who are still at Munyonyo, those are the pilgrims, because we normally know that they don't always leave that place like immediately, because even you will find others tomorrow. What is your message to them? Because they will be scared about the bomb which has happened right now. What is your message to them? Are you still providing security? What is your message?
Absolutely. We will not leave our positions until the last pilgrim has departed. This is our modus operandi. Every year. Today is the D-Day, Matters Day. But there are events before, during, and after. You've seen many pilgrims have been arriving in Namugongo by foot, escorted by police and the UPDF. So we take care of the pilgrims while they travel to the holy sites, during and after. Many are leaving today, but not all of them will be able to depart. So our security posture will remain the same until everybody has departed back to their destination.
Amanya nze Nsuuga Mustafa, nkola ne Alihira Holdings Uganda Limited. Tuli bakozi ba biodigester wamu n'okuzimba okwenjawulo. So olwaleero tuli waneeno nga tuli nkola biodigester. Ekyenjawulo ekiriwo nti yo eri mu basement wakati okusinziira nga bulijjo abantu mu kiraba ti eno parking lot. So eri wansi eri parking lot eri mu basement. Leero tukoze size y'abantu 5 ng'era erina capacity okusavinga ekizimbe kino kyonna nga wekinaabeera. Waneeno ng'era emigaso gya bulijjo gya biodigester tebagenda kunuunamu. Atwetaaze ku namba z'essimu 07017669992 ne MTN 0789224230. Enamba ezo zonna kweziri ku WhatsApp.
Little Bird School Mixed Day and Boarding School isangibwa Nansana Kyebando Nsumbi. Bagamba nti gwe omuzadde akola ennyo ng'obudde olina butono bw'omwana wo mubakwase babeere nga tebamulabirira bulungi mu by'okusoma ne mu bulamu obwa bulijjo. Saate era ne bakugamba nti gwe omuzadde ali ku kyeyo osobola okuba ng'obawa omwana wo paka contract yo weggwako oba paka ekiseera kyekyeyo wekitambulira oba paka w'okomawo n'olaba ku mwana wo azonga obawadde byonna ebyetaagisa okulaba ng'omwana wo bamutereka mu kifaananyi ekirungi. Bayina emisomo egy'enjawulo nga kw'otadde ne computer lessons eri omwana okuviira ddala ku muto paka ku mwana owa P7 ate ng'era nkutegeeza nti n'abantu abakulu abasobola okuba batuuka ku ssomero lino nammwe basobola okuba basomesa computer. Essomero baliyita Little Bird School liri Mixed Day and Boarding lisangibwa wano Nansana ng'odda ku Kyebando ekyalo bakiyita Nsumbi.
Peter Ali Moses, marketing manager wa Tete Business Solutions. We deal in printing, branding and general supplies. Tukola signages, tukola corporate wear uniforms n'ebintu bingi. Bino byonna bye mulaba mu dduuka zino samples. Buli kyolaba kyonna tulina stores. Tukola bintu bingi n'abasinga bamanyi tukola printing and branding only. Naye tukola bingi, tulina departments ezirimu civil engineering, ezirimu installations, mechanical installations n'ebirala. Tuli located at Lighthouse Arcade behind Charm Towers, C12. Era bw'otuuka ku C12 obupande waffe wonna oba obulaba.
Rich Boutique wano ku Kamukamu Plaza Entebbe Road Kampala bayina engoye okuva e UK ez'abaami n'abakyala kosa n'abaana ebiteeteeyi ebirungi bayina tops bayina pants ennungi ez'abakyala kosa n'engoye ezambalibwa munda bayina engoye z'abaami ng'amasuuti bayina t-shirts ennungi jeans ennungi engoye endalira abaami ze bambalira munda bayina diapers oba ziyite pampers okuviira ddala ku mwana azaaliddwa paka ku muntu omukulu. Engatto z'abakyala ennungi n'engatto z'abaami byonna babina ku Rich Boutique n'ebyokwewunda eby'abaami n'abakyala. Mujje wano ku Kamukamu Plaza first floor F46 oba osobola okugiyita FF46 nga we litimbiddwa ku mulyango gwalyo oba ku ennamba z'essimu eziri wansi awo babeere nga bakolera delivery.
Logical Construction Company tulina abakugu b'enjawulo. Tulina nga onalabe nti tulina ba architects, tulina ba structural engineer, tulina ba painter, tulina ba electrical. Onatuuka ewagulu jasanga nti slab etwagitaddemu pipe z'amasannyalaze tetwayise balala. Ffe kennyini n'abantu baffe nga bwe tukola fe abakoze etya abakyekoledde. Kwegamba logical emirimu gye tukola gono tukuba plan mwekyo ne tukola electrical ebyamasannyalaze ne tukola plumbing ebyo ebyamazzi ne tupaintinga ne tukola interior designing landscaping ebya compound ebyo byonna Logical Construction Company tubikola sebo.